What's going on, everybody? Welcome into this edition of Fantasy Chat. We are live from the St. Louis, Missouri studios. It's week 8 of the NFL, and we are back. We got me, the great TJ Weber, and yes, Nick, I am using the word great. And then we got Nick Yale all the way from Dallas, Texas.
Don't sound so bored when you say it. Jeez, come on.
What do you mean so bored? When I'm talking about you?
This is the great TJ Weber from St. Louis, Missouri studios, and Nick Yale down in Dallas, Texas.
I'll be honest with you. I've been kind of nice with saying the great Nick Yale this year. I don't know where that came from. It's unlike me, honestly.
I know, it's unlike you. It's very much unlike you, but we are back for week 8. Excited to be here. Wasn't able to get on the show on Sunday because I was down in Tampa Bay watching Bijan Robinson not play, TJ.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure you and a lot of people were very happy about the fact that he was a little bit under the weather, Nick. Just a little bit under the weather, a little flu or something. I
mean, you know what? I had the Falcons and as an underdog as my dog of the week, which did end up hitting. Was expecting Bijan to play, but he did not. Even though we saw him pregame, came over and said, "What's up?" to Lauren. Looked great, and then goes out there, TJ, and just does not. He was in for certain series, but he just didn't run the ball at all. Apparently had a little headache.
A little headache, I mean, we all get paid millions of dollars and sometimes just got a little headache. You can't play. I wouldn't want to play in the NFL if I had a headache, I'll be honest with you, but how bad was it? I mean, it was bad enough where he was out. I don't know, Nick. I don't know.
Listen, I'm pissed because I took his more than yards on Prize Picks, and I had a opportunity there to cash a two pick play with Baker more than yards, and so Bijan doesn't play, but technically he did play though, because he would come in for plays and then just not get the ball. They would never run him, but then in the second half he would have been a push or a DNP because he didn't play. But then in the second half he gets one carry on the last drive of the game for 3 yards.
Yeah, what was the deal with that? Why, you're saying, why bring him in if you're not going to use him? I don't understand.
I was like, pick one or the other. The only thing I could have thought of was at the beginning of the game they're using him as a decoy because everyone's keying on him, and then in the second half I was thinking that maybe if Cordero or if Tyler Algier get hurt, that they're gonna have him as an emergency. If he needed to, he could probably play. But yeah, it just kind of screwed everything up, and I would have rather them either play him since he was active or just make him inactive and not play him at all, because that was the NFL rule that they're getting investigated for right now, which they could get penalized, is for not disclosing that he was injured, health reasons, but injured and wasn't going to be playing in the game, because that screwed so many bettors if you bet on Bijan yards. And I mean, I don't think it didn't really affect Falcons bettors at all because they ended up winning the game. They were an underdog, but for Bijan prop bettors out there, they got hoed.
Yo, that dude big mad, fella.
Yeah, you're a little feisty. Nick can hear the drops now. I'm excited. This is
I can hear the drops. Yeah. Big Web tuning in from the St. Louis, Missouri studios. Guesting with us today.
This is bullshit.
Yeah.
Love it.
It brings the show back where Nick feels like he's back in studio in a way. It's fantastic,
It really does. I love to hear all my drops, TJ, because I have the best drops out of anybody. I think I contribute the most to this program, especially through drops. So make sure you play all the good ones that I have. Yeah. All the good ones that I have.
I only have one of yours right now. It's one of our favorites, though. I love this one.
Well, thank you for that, dipshit.
So, I mean,
thank you for that, dipshit.
Yeah, we got plenty, but we got to load them all back in. You guys don't care about drops as much as we do. You guys can get involved, though. I know you care about fantasy football. Right here on TikTok, From the 50, or Weber Bets. We're live on both platforms. And also, if you'd like to see Nick, I understand if you don't want to, but if you do want to see the full broadcast, we're also live on the From the 50 YouTube. It's very simple. You don't have to go search From the 50 on YouTube. You can if you want. It's easier to go to our website, fromthe50.com. FromThe50.com. Nick, it's super easy. All the links are right there. You click the YouTube link and boom, bada bing, you're right there. And you get to watch us live.
So easy, even TJ can do it.
From 2 different cities. This is fantastic. I've been waiting and finally upgraded the equipment, and now we're rocking and rolling here. It's fantastic.
Now we're rocking and rolling.
That's all we needed. Noah's got the first question today. Should I do Jets, Moore, and Stevenson for Bijan, Gabe Davis, Algier, and Josh Allen? Oh, Jay Jettas. Sorry. Should I do Jay Jettas, Moore, and Stevenson for Bijan, Gabe Davis, Algier, and Josh Allen? That's a loaded trade question.
Hell yeah. I mean, Jettas is injured right now. You're getting Bijan who again I talked about this previous week. 'Cause I think anytime you get Bijan Robinson on your team in fantasy, you take him.
Yeah.
And you get Josh Allen, and you get Gabe Davis. Like, yeah, I would for sure do that.
And if Bijan happens to have the sniffles, Tyler Allgeier's in that trade too, so you get a backup.
Right, yeah, you
there,
got a
know?
handcuff.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd probably go with that as well.
I definitely do that.
Yes or no? I get ETN, Amon-Ra, and I give up CMC and Ayuk. That's from Lau.
No, I think you keep CMC and Ayuk. I don't love fantasy teams that have players from the same team so what I would honestly do here is I would probably try to trade CMC. I would just do CMC for ETN and Amon-Ra. Maybe if you have to throw in somebody else, but I wouldn't throw in Ayuk. Keep him on your team because then you could still have a Niner.
Like, I understand the trade. It seems pretty even, I'll be honest with you, but I don't know why you're trading Christian McCaffrey.
So.
ETN's like top 5 running back right now. St. Brown is on the up and up, but CMC is the best fantasy player alive right now. I don't know why you would try to trade him. I don't get it.
St. Brown's better than Ayuk, and CMC is better than ETN, but I think having ETN and Amon-Ra still isn't worth trading both CMC and Ayuk.
But you are trading 1-4 for 2-3 in the rankings, in my opinion. You're trading Ayuk's the 4th best in that foursome. McCaffrey's 1, and then the other 2 are 2 and 3. I mean, so it is decently even. I don't know how.
I still think CMC Ayuk is a little too expensive, and I would want to keep one of those guys. If you're going to trade, you have to trade CMC in that scenario to get ETN and Amon-Ra. So I would try to work something else. Maybe you do two other players instead of Ayuk that you can get to get both ETN as your RB2 and then Amon-Ra as your WR1.
I like that. I like where you say WR1. Neat.
WR1.
Right.
Wide receiver.
Because it takes too long to say wide receiver. I understand.
It does.
Do I start Tua or Josh Allen this week? That's from Landau.
Let's go to the table here.
I
TJ,
actually have all
plan.
these, Nick. My phone's blocking all the matchups. The Dolphins are playing the Patriots, and the Bills are playing the Bucks. Bills have struggled. They lost to the Patriots last week.
Tua.
I got to go Tua this week as well.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. Do you think it was a fluke last week with the old Pats, or are they back, Nick? Are they back?
No, I don't think they're back. I think it was an anomaly. They haven't looked great all season, and they play a tough game though. Bill Belichick's always
Mac
come out
Jones?
there and compete. Mac Jones, I mean, I didn't get a chance to watch the game because I was at the Tampa Bay game, so I didn't really see exactly what happened. I just heard that he led a drive at the end of the game to win.
2 tutties, 230 yards passing, I think. Not too shabby.
I mean, again, he's an NFL quarterback. Like you
Nice
can shit on
take.
players all you want, but they're still NFL players at the end of the day. They're going to have good games.
That was a First Take-esque ESPN. Well, they're all pros, so they'll all do good at some point.
I mean, they are. Like it's like we can shit on Mac Jones. Do I think he's a top 10 quarterback in the league? No.
Yeah.
But is he going to have a good game from time to time? Yeah, sure. Like he's not shit.
That's why they pay you the big bucks for takes like that, Nick. By the way, I like the color. It's like a nice like beachy Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Apricot. Yeah, I got it in Myrtle Beach. I was going for something a little different. I was like, I want a pastel, and so me and my sister went and picked out some pastel colored sweatshirts. I wasn't sure if it was too girly or not, but I've gotten a lot of compliments. So thank you.
No, I do care, actually. I do. I think it looks good. It's a good one. By the way, the hat, no free ads, but you got a Shamrock hat you've been wearing every show since week 1.
Oh, really? Have I been wearing the same one? I do like the Live Lucky hats. Yeah, I got 2 of them.
You do what I do. You wear the same hat for like 5 years, and then you retire the hat and you get a new one. In my case, I got the same exact hat, just a new version of it. Correct.
I actually I have multiples in rotation. I have 2 or 3 golf hats that I wear, and then I have an Adidas hat and a Blues hat. So I have like 4 or 5 that are usually in the rotation, but I do wear this one a lot. I like the black.
Yeah, the black and white, it works with a lot of things. I get what you're doing there. It just
matches with everything.
I was curious. You seem like a one hat kind of guy, just like me. I was just wondering. A lot of people have.
When I would used to wear my Cardinals hat. I don't really wear snapbacks too much anymore. TJ, the snaps are always, my head's too big. Not that anybody gives any shit in the world about this, but so I've been going to the flex fit hats.
Well, we got to be different, Nick. I mean, we got to be different than just let's read the comments. Like
we do.
You got to ask about it.
Your Blues hat was the first one that was like a flex fit where I was like, oh, I like that one because it fits my head pretty well.
Yeah, your head's massive. It's kind of tough to have a hat.
Big
that
brains, a lot of fantasy information up top here, TJ.
It's a lot of bullshit. Let's see. What's up, Webb? Who you got tonight? Real quick, baseball question. Philly or Arizona? Nick, real quick, who would you take
Philly.
money line? Yeah.
Got to go Philadelphia, I think, tonight. Arizona, great ball club. Philadelphia, just more power.
I have a feeling, though, it might be closer than people think because
They're
I think
in
they're
Philly,
going
aren't
to.
they?
they're in Philly, but they're going to press, man. They should have got it done last night with Aaron Nola. That was the game. This might be one of those situations where Arizona's actually got the momentum. So if you do want value, I think Arizona is dangerous tonight.
I just don't think there's any way the Rangers now don't win this World Series. I mean, could be Homer living down here in Texas and Arlington, but man, they look good the past 2 games there in Houston.
And no offense to the Diamondbacks, everybody wants to see Phillies Rangers.
Yeah,
everybody wants to see that.
Diamondbacks are a young team. They're a fun team. They got a lot of cool players to root for, but Phillies Rangers would just be an awesome World Series, I think, and one that not a lot of people had on their bingo card going in. I think going into the playoffs, Rangers, Phillies were the 2 teams with the worst odds to win.
Ah, really? Interesting.
Yeah, longest shot odds. Diamondbacks may have been in there too, but like those 3 teams were probably had the least chance of winning going into the playoffs.
There you go. Good to know. Good stat. Good stat. You guys can call in from the50.com. Hit the call button. Jump into the conversation with Nick and myself. It's super easy to do. You join via our collab cam here on Streamlabs. I did get the new version and the new all bullshit. So
nobody knows what the shit is. Just say you're joining the show.
You
can join via our collab cam.
It's cooler to say collab cam.
You're joining the show via the collab cam.
It is the collab cam. So join via the collab cam. Nick's not cool enough to call it that, but the cool people call it collab cam. You can jump into the conversation right now with Nick and myself from the50.com. Steelers are 4-2. Thoughts? That's from Bryson. Real quick, I'm going to toot my own horn because I'm going to do it a lot on Sunday. Yep. Your boy tripled up on an underdog on the road and fucking hit it. Nick, I am in fuego, and I cannot be stopped. It's insane.
I was right there with you. You copied most of my picks from the week.
That's
I got my picks in first, and then you copied all my picks.
Well, you're in last place, I think.
Shout out me.
What does the board say? Yeah, you're 9 picks back from me. Continue, yes.
Did I go 5-2 or 4-3 this week?
You went 4-3. I went 5-2. Obviously,
that was tough. I was 4-1 to start the day, and then Miami on Sunday night cost me, and then last night Frisco on Monday Night Football cost me. I thought Minnesota came out, but thoughts on Steelers though? I mean, I think they started slow, but now they're picking up a little bit of momentum. I still don't really think their offense is good enough to do anything. I think, especially in that division, I don't know, TJ, your thoughts? I think the Steelers are the 4th best team there still, even in that division. But
I am kind of there with you. It's a tough division. I think Baltimore's 1. Cincinnati is just...
It's like sneaky tough.
Cincinnati's going to come back, but it is tough. I mean, Pittsburgh and Cleveland are definitely better than I expected, but still... I think it's Baltimore's division to lose, and the other teams are just going to kind of hang around. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, you're all within did Cincy lose this weekend? Is that why
Cincy was on bye week this week?
They were on bye week, but 3-3. I mean, I still think they're in the bottom of that division. I still think they're going to come back. There's 2 games between all of those teams. You know, Steelers and Browns both at 4-2, Ravens at 5-2. You're probably right. Ravens are top of that division, but I don't know. Steelers, I just don't think you can really trust Kenny Pickett, and Najee Harris just got in the end zone for the first time this weekend, so maybe that's a sign that
you want to know why? And by the way, every single fantasy owner of Najee Harris should be thanking Mike Tomlin for lighting a fire under his ass and saying that Warren was going to get half the carries, because all of a sudden Najee Harris played football on Sunday. So
I mean, dude, we've been waiting around for it. I have him sitting on the bench, and I have the handcuff too in Jaylen Warren, and I still set them both on the bench because I don't think either one of them right now merit status in a lineup until one of those guys takes the full load and actually performs.
Yeah, it's honestly, I was shocked to see how good he did, but that just shows you right there, like Tomlin lit a fire under him, and now he might be interesting to watch. Nick, you want to hear from Mike real quick?
Let's hear from Mike. What's up, Mike?
All right. Hey, Mike, what's going on?
What's up? This is Mike from Long Island.
What's going on, man?
I was wondering. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
So I was watching the game yesterday, and Kirk Cousins looked amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he looked great in the pocket. He was slinging that ball left and right, and he looked big in the moment. He didn't get swallowed by the moment as he usually does on Monday Night Football.
Right.
So I was just wondering, it reminded me of Brady a little bit. Who would win in a naked bubbly tickle?
Nick,
in a naked bubbly.
That's our first gag call on the show. Actually,
I love that.
Good. He couldn't even get through.
I think Brady would honestly win that, TJ. Right?
In a naked bubble bath fight. Is that what he said?
Yeah, probably something along those lines. But I think if naked bubble bath fight, you got to go Brady.
Yeah, I agree with that. Listen. I'll be honest. If you're gonna come with some content, like you got some material, you got to get through it, bro. Like you gotta give it your full.
Did you cut him
you
off, or
lost
did he
it
cut
during the
himself off?
punchline.
Did you cut him off, or did he cut himself off?
I cut him off, but he lost it. He was gone. I mean,
He was starting to laugh halfway through it.
Yeah, it was good stuff. I mean, I appreciate the effort, but God, man,
Mike
if you're gonna have a
from Long
punchline, you
Island.
got to do it. I appreciate that. So, Nick, you say Brady wins the naked bubble bath wrestling with
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins?
for sure.
Got it. Back to football questions, but we love those. A good call. Trade Raheem for Eckler in an 8-man PPR. Thoughts? That's from Marshall.
8-man PPR trade Raheem. Yeah, probably. I think Eckler throughout the rest of the season is probably going to be a better fit for a team than Raheem Mostert, especially when Achane comes back.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably do that.
Yeah, it's tough because, like you said, Achane coming
Raheem's
back
hot right now, but
Raheem is red hot, and Eckler is always an injury issue guy.
I would probably just try to add in another player somehow to, on both sides to just maybe get some extra insurance if you're trading for Eckler, because I think the same concern is there about injuries, and Achane's still going to be out for another 2 weeks, so Mostert's going to get all the action until then.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say take Eckler, but if it's straight up, go for it. If you got to add some more, I might.
It kind of
stay away.
depends. I think another caveat, TJ, of this is if you need a win in the next 2 weeks, if you need or if you're in a decent position, because Eckler's more of a long-term play, Mostert's more of a short-term play. I think Mostert's going to help you in the short term, whereas Eckler's going to help you in the long term.
Yeah. That's a good play. You're taking risks. It's fantasy football. We say it every week, but I
think now
there's...
is the week to trade. Week 7, week 8. Some of these guys are out of buys. Some are about to go into their buys. This is now the time to kind of separate yourself from TJ. You hate the word, but pretenders and the contenders. Are you contending?
Wow.
Or are you pretending?
That's
now
good
you got to
stuff.
make a trade, because if you get too far ahead in command of your league, no one's going to want to trade with you. But if you wait too long, then you also might be losing the next couple weeks and not be in a great position to set yourself up for a championship. So I think now is the perfect time to make a risky trade if you're so inclined.
Josh Jacobs, CD, and Waller for Keenan, Lockett, Finley, and Ertz. That's from Terrence. Ridley. I couldn't read. It's really small text.
Ridley?
Ridley.
Okay, wait, one more time.
Josh Jacobs, CeeDee Lamb, Darren Waller for Keenan, Lockett, Ridley, and Ertz.
Yeah, I like the Keenan, Lockett, Ridley, and
Ertz.
Ertz.
Ertz, not
So if
Hurts.
you're trading for those guys, yes, I like that end of the trade better.
Yeah.
If you're on the Waller Lamb side, I don't like that. I assume they're trading Waller Lamb for that.
And they're getting Keenan Allen.
Trying to
Lockett,
trade
Ridley,
Waller after he just had a big week, which I wholeheartely like that approach.
And I think Ertz has actually been pretty productive. No, he's been kind of a decent tight end this year when he's healthy. I mean, I
haven't watched too many Cardinal games. I know they've been kind of up and down without Kyler in there. And we're still kind of curious whether Kyler is going to play or not. They have 3 more weeks before they have to shut him down for the season. So,
yeah, I thought you had another thought.
No. I was saying I haven't watched too many Cardinal games, and I don't know how much they've used Ertz. They're not really, TJ, much on the red zone, a whole lot.
Yeah, that's true. They're not too explosive of a team, but
that's what I watch on Sundays.
Maybe that changes when the Cardinals when Kyler's
get
back. We'll see
Kyler
what
back
happens.
if they're going to play him this year, which I don't know if they are or not. I think they are
for sure. You say if he's going to play. If you guys are going to bet this year, which I'm sure you have been and will continue to, you should join Sharps. And I'll tell you what it is. It's a social network for sports bettors. If you want a social media platform that you can put your bet slips down, you can track your bets, but you can also bullshit with your friends and see what other people are taking. That's the other thing. They have the analytics and everything. The real bets that come in from the sports books. It's not like you can fake your picks and act like this is the lock of the century, telling everybody to take it, and then you're not actually betting it. No. On Sharps, you can take your DFS platform or your FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM account. You can put those into the app. It tracks your bets automatically. You can make posts, put memes with it, videos, photos, whatever, and interact with the sports betting community. It's a lot of fun. It's free to join. You got to join with my link. It's on WeberBets.com. or from the50.com. Hit Join Weber Bets on Sharps. Start tracking your bets with me today. Let's interact on there. Have a good time. It's the Sharps app. Sharps with a Z, the better social network. And also Parlay Play, DFS platform for player prop parlays. I'm calling it the Triple P platform. It's a lot of fun, man. I do it a lot on Sundays especially. Been pretty consistent as well. It's mainly focused on player props to give you, these great numbers on if you want a certain receiver over receptions, or if you want, a running back with under rushing yards. The numbers are also different here and there than FanDuel, DraftKings, because they focus directly with player props. So again, it's a lot of fun. Check it out. It's Parlay Play on the App Store. You can go to fromthe50.com or use code FT50 when signing up. You get $5 in free play just for doing that. You don't even have to deposit anything. $5 of free play, but if you do deposit, you get $100 up to $100 deposit match if you use FT50, the promo code, or go to our website fromthe50.com and just go ahead and hit the link. The contests are available in 27 states, paid contests, which includes Illinois if you're in the St. Louis area. But there are free-to-play contests available in every state. So again, that's Parlay Play, link on fromthe50.com. That is Parlay Play, DFS platform for player prop parlays. All right, let's see what else we got on the chat. Let's see. Start 2, Aaron Jones, Cooper, Hunt, Ridley, Deontay Johnson, Bijan Robinson. Good Lord.
One more time?
Start 2, Aaron Jones, Cooper. Is that Amari Cooper, I guess? Hunt, Ridley, Deontay Johnson, Bijan Robinson.
Bijan, for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
And either Cooper or... I wouldn't start Aaron Jones. I wouldn't start Kareem Hunt. Who were the other ones? Sorry.
I would probably go Bijan, and I would go with Calvin Ridley. So you got Deontay Johnson, Aaron Jones, Cooper, Hunt.
Yeah. I think Calvin Ridley and Bijan would be what I would do as well.
Yeah, I agree. Should I start Javonte Williams or Zach Moss this week? That's from from Colorado.
That's a good question. Zach Moss, I think, has been trending down a little bit in terms of action now that JT had a good week. So I would probably go with Javonte Williams.
Yeah, I go Javonte.
Is he fully back now? Is he fully
That's
healthy?
the thing. Is it McLaughlin? Chase McLaughlin is how you say it. He's been kind of productive. So you got two split back situations, but I agree with Nick. I think JT's taken over that backfield in Indy. So I would go Javonte Williams there. But let's see.
Which I'm kind of pissed because I had a week. I knew that was going to happen this week, and I was trying to trade Zach Moss last week, but nonetheless, you just kind of got to eat it. I think Zach Moss, who's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, will get another job elsewhere.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Or they'll keep him and still use him like they've been doing. But
you guys can call in from the50.com at the call button. My league genuinely just offered me, or my league mate genuinely just offered me Dawson Knox for Laporta. That's from Ryan.
No.
Yeah, decline that and never be friends with him again.
I hate that too. It's like you never I wish people would just understand that when they're trying to make fantasy trades, that you should probably be giving away a little bit more than you are asking for if you actually want someone to consider a trade. Like, you can't just bottle up all your shit players or just make a 1-for-1 deal and hopefully that someone accepts that. Like, people are going to do their research, and I encourage people to use the KTC trade, keep trade cut trade analyzer. Just like Google search that. That is a great way to make sure you're not getting screwed over, and like also make sure when you're trying to make a fair trade, a balanced trade, like you can do a pretty good job, and that I think rates the players fairly well, to where it makes even trades and you're not getting screwed over by your opinion versus one other guy's.
There is a happy medium though, because there's guys in your league that try to do what he's trying to do to you and just get an easy trade that you're not paying attention to. But if anybody's played fantasy football for a few years, you know the deal, where it also goes the other way. Where my league, I've done two trades this year, and it's the first time I've traded in 3 years because nobody trusts anybody. So there is a happy medium between. You got to have a little trade action in the league. You
feels like they're getting screwed when you send them a trade, and it's like, no, like let's, especially in dynasty leagues and deeper leagues and dynasty leagues where, you're keeping these players in basically all keeper leagues. Like, there's ways to balance. And I'm a guy, I'm always I'm trading away, I'm trading for, like I'm doing 10-ish trades a year in my dynasty league, where it's like, because you always need to be moving parts, switching things around, and seeing where you're where your strengths are and playing off your strengths and trying to cover your weaknesses too, because injuries right now are going to only pile up more and more as the season goes along.
Tell me about it. Kyron Williams hurts me.
Yeah,
I don't know
some
what's
of those
going on
guys
with
you just
him.
got to kind of throw them on the IR and then they'll be back at the end of the season. Kyron Williams and Devin Achane, both specifically for me and for a lot of fantasy owners, two guys that blew up early in the season now on IR. You got to play waivers and you got to try to get lucky on waivers. It's still tough out there. If you haven't put in your waiver claims yet for today, DeMarcado on the Cardinals now is officially the RB1. They announced that today, so he's available on waiver wire claims. Jaylen Warren's another one that people we talked a little about earlier that could be available.
Jalen Hyatt, as far as receivers go, I mean, Tyrod's looking for him a lot. I don't know if Danny Jones will do that. He's been very hit or miss, but he's a huge deep shot threat for the Giants. So rookie, they haven't really used full yet, so I would stash Jalen Hyatt on your bench.
Also, Josh Downs, if you haven't picked him up, mostly not available in leagues anymore. He was going to be available a couple weeks ago, but some leagues still have him available. He's now looked like the wide receiver one there in Indy. Even with Anthony Richardson out, they get JT back, so they're running the ball a little bit more. But Gardner Minshew's been fine for the Colts so far, feeding him the ball and getting him some looks. So definitely, if he's available, I would definitely stash him as well. I played him a couple weeks and he helped me win past 2 weeks. So
there you go. You guys can try to call in from the50.com. I got people saying again, it says stream not available. I don't know what to tell you. Give it a shot. It just worked a minute ago. Try it on From the 50. Try it on Weber Bets. If not, the technology is a piece of shit. I don't know what to tell you. It's just the way it works. But from the50.com, weberbets.com, hit the call button. If it doesn't work, then Nick will run a naked lap. Nico Collins trade value, that's from Corn Dog. I haven't heard much from Nico Collins in the last few weeks. Texans were on bye last week. Nick, any thoughts on Nico Collins trade value?
Nico Collins trade value, I think, that depends on who you're trading him for. I think he carries some trade value. Yes, he's definitely the Texans' kind of go-to guy in the end zone. I'm still kind of curious about John Mechie III and I forget who else their other wide receivers. Is it Brandon Cooks, I think, who they have?
Yep. No. Brandon Cooks is now with Dallas.
Oh, yeah, Brandon Cooks is down in Dallas. So, but I'm kind of confused. I don't know what they're going to do with them. John Mechie III, though, was a rookie last year coming out of Alabama, had leukemia, so he's out full last season. Now they've talked about utilizing him more. Has no fantasy impact right now, but he's kind of an interesting player to watch down there. But right now, I would say Nico Collins' value is probably somewhere around wide receiver 2/flex.
Yeah, it depends on Tank Dell. So I mean, Nico Collins has been
that's
one,
who I was also.
Tank Dell's the other guy that's been very back and forth,
up,
but he's been productive when he's in there. So he could take some value away. The thing is, if you're trying to trade him, I agree with Nick. I mean, he's already
trade him now,
but he's a wide receiver 2 or flex, but you're not going to get much out of him. So don't expect a big return. Make him another piece if you have a bigger piece to give away, or package a couple.
Yeah,
guys
he's
together.
not really like enticing at all, like to another player, because it's like Nico Collins. I mean, unless you're going for a team that's like really, really thin, like you're probably gonna need like 3 players to package somebody to go get that one guy that you're trying to look for. Like Nico Collins and one other guy like isn't gonna land you a top tier player that I don't think you'd even want in your lineups. Like Nico Collins, he's like, yeah, flex and like wide receiver 2 if you need him there.
Right. Yeah, I agree. This is an interesting case here. Larry says Walker for JJ, and my record is 6-1. I'm guessing that's Kenneth Walker for Justin Jefferson. I would 100% do that because you're 6-1. You got a good, comfortable lead there. JJ's coming back in a few weeks. I would 100% do that, Nick, for playoff push. You're in a great spot.
Kind of depends, though, on what the rest of your team looks like, wide receiver, running back wise, because you could get a little thin at running back. I think if you're fine at wide receiver, I might keep Walker just because he's been a very dependable running back in either a flex or RB1, RB2, really any spot. He's going to be good. He's going to get you your points wherever you slot him in the lineup. But Jay Jetta, it's kind of hard to pass that up if you can get him, even if you're not going to be. Again, this is a guy 6-1 in a position where they're in command. They're going to make the playoffs. And like you're saying, you're going to have Jay Jetta for playoffs. Like, yeah, that's probably a trade you want to do, but just kind of depends on who you have on your team still.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And it all is about Kirk, too. I mean, if you think Kirk is not going to be that guy. He looked good this week against San Francisco. Let me tell you, Nick, the dogs were barking this week. Vegas made a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
It was big time. If you were on the side of the dogs this week, a lot of home dogs too.
Yeah, that's what
It
I
helped
I
ya.
was CTJ. I think I went 4-3. You went 5-2. So we still both finished positive this
Big
week.
Web's in the
but-
chat. He went 2-5. Just wanted to shout that out.
Huh?
Big Web's in the chat. He was
Oh,
2-5.
there
I
you
just
go.
wanted to
There
shout
you
that
go.
out real quick.
Yeah, but you and me both were on a lot of the same sides of those teams, and echoing a lot of what I said last week. I felt the same way this week. Just like dogs, especially home dogs, were the way to go.
Yeah, you got to find those spots, man. I mean, there's these top
Detroit
teams that
got
people.
smacked, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
Lions got fucking destroyed.
Were they on
and
the road? Were they in Baltimore?
They were in Baltimore, and
That
the
was a
Ravens.
shit pick.
The
That was
Ravens,
shit.
the Ravens literally scored in the first 4. You could tell by the
Okay.
third drive it was over. You just
So
knew
this
it.
is what I was telling you though, when I didn't really listen to myself for what I said last week, that Detroit was going to go into some of these tough games in their schedule. They played some weaker teams, and now they're going to get hammered. And
I didn't think they get hammered. I said that on the show. So you weren't on the show on Sunday. I've been saying it for the last 3 weeks that a drop off's coming.
Yeah,
I said if they would have
Well, we
beat
both took
Seattle.
Detroit though. That was stupid. We
I
should've
know.
taken
Of course
Baltimore there.
we did. And the thing is, like, week 1, I said if they stay healthy, they have a good shot to be 5-1 or 6-0. Like, go back to the tape. I said it. But I did say, starting with the Ravens, that's when it gets tough.
Yeah,
And
right here.
here's what I'll be honest with, and I'm not trying to be that guy that like acts like that was a good thing for that to happen, but to look on the positive side of that game, they needed a wake-up call. Like, okay, maybe we're not that fucking good. Like, we are, but we're going to get steamrolled if we think we can walk in and just beat every team.
This happens in every season for a team that wins the Super Bowl. You have to lose one. You have to lose one
Yep.
at some point. You see it in college. You see it in pros on both sides of the ball. When you just go through a lot of these games, winning games you should win. Like that's honestly harder, easier said than done. It's just like winning the games that you should win.
Right.
Those easy games like Detroit's done. And then you drop one to Baltimore that wakes you up a little bit, and now you go on the road and hopefully in the gauntlet of their schedule coming up. I mean, you got the Raiders at home next week. That should be a win.
Monday Night Football, like long week. They should
like,
roll them. They should
You
roll them.
go to Los Angeles, like that could be a good win if they can get one there. And then you got the Bears, Packers, and Saints. So it's like you got Bears twice, and those division games are really the ones you need to win. So it's like a nice wake up call.
Yeah.
Before
They're going to be
you can't-
7-2.
You can't lose the Bears, the Packers. You can't lose those divisional games when you're trying to make it to the playoffs, because you'd rather make it to the playoffs as a division winner than as a wild card, because you play one less game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because wild card round and then division. So
They're
you really
gonna
want
be-
to win division.
They're going to be 7-2 because they need to beat the Raiders after last week. They will. They should beat them by a touchdown. And I think Jared Goff redemption tour going back
That's
to
gonna be
Los
interesting.
Angeles. I think he might. I mean, he's been playing so good.
Oh
He just,
yeah. That'll be an interesting game going back to his not the team he was on, but the stadium. I guess I guess he never played in SoFi as a Ram.
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know
'Cause
what
that
year it was.
I think that was before, but yeah, I'm interested to see what the line.
I don't either.
I'm interested to see though what the line is on that Detroit game against the Raiders.
It's 7.5 at the moment. Last time I saw it.
It's up to 8.5. Man, dude, I
Jesus.
would hammer. I think that's a hammer line though. 8.5. Yeah.
I tell you what, I'd probably bet it up to 9.5, and if it goes over 10, I'd say, all right, that's
Yeah,
enough.
I think it's the same way.
You know.
But you never know. They could come back and fucking.
I totally expect them to have a bounce back game, and let's be honest too. This was good for a couple reasons. Wake up call game, as I mentioned, like they're gonna be fucking back. Everybody knows this is gonna happen, and also they realize like you need to do something different than just running the ball with Montgomery 30 times. He was out, might be out next week, but guess what, Nick? Gibbs had 9 receptions. They fucking used him. The guy can play football, obviously, so this is good. Let Monty come back, but
Look
use
at
them
that.
both like you were expected to do in the first place.
Look at that. I mean that's a nice tide turning there for Detroit. I think we hammered Detroit this week.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a good one. I really do. All right, back to the comments. Let's see. Cup for AJ. That's from Eli. Cooper Cup for AJ Brown.
No.
Puka
No.
Nacua is taking away opportunities for Cup. Cup did have 2 early drops, though. Not that really matters, but I think I would keep Cup.
I think like I just like Cup over AJ Brown in that scenario. I like AJ Brown again. He's gonna have some good weeks, but like, at what point do you really trust AJ Brown to be better than Cooper Kupp? Like if I had them both and I had to pick one to start, I'm probably going to pick Cooper Kupp. Although I will say AJ Brown last 4 weeks, wide receiver 2 last week, wide receiver 7 the week before that, 13 before that, and then again 2 before that. So the past 4 weeks, AJ Brown has had 12 or more fantasy points with looking like about 9 receptions.
Mm-hmm. I guess it worries.
175. Yeah. Oh man, that's tough.
It is.
He hasn't had less than 127 yards receiving in the last 4 games.
It just worries
That's
me
5
when
games.
you see what the Eagles offense can do. They have so many different things they can do with that offense. And then you have the Rams, who literally, besides, Puka Nacua is showing up. Kyron Williams has been showing up, but he's hurt now. Kupp is the main part of their offense. So if you're looking at fantasy, you think that Kupp is the obvious play. But you're right. A.J. Brown's been their guy, and not just their guy, one of the top receivers in fantasy this year.
Yeah,
and they have a million weapons on that team.
Stats are going to tell you, and I might switch my my decision here on that, because what I'm looking at right now, stats would tell you AJ Brown. I think Cooper Kupp long term, again, this is one of those long term plays like we were talking about earlier. Long term, Cooper Kupp's probably the answer. Short term, it's probably AJ Brown, because Cooper Kupp has Dallas, then Green Bay, both on the road, then a bye week. And then, down the road, they still have Baltimore, Washington, New Orleans on their schedule, and San Francisco. So, Cooper Kupp's schedule is probably a little bit tougher. So I might, again, in the short term, let me look at A.J. Brown's schedule real quick. I think I might go with A.J. Brown in that situation, just because it looks like they've been feeding him the ball.
Also, it looks like, from last week, Puka Nacua is here to stay. The dude is Stafford loves him. Kupp had a tough day against Pittsburgh, and Nacua kept them in that game. He had a 1 catch on the sideline, Nick. I don't know if you saw it, 35-yard pass left side, and he toe tapped. It looked like he's been in the league for 5 years. It was just who the fuck is this guy? But he is consistent, and Stafford trusts him, so he's there for the season. Let's collectively
switch our answer then, and let's go with AJ Brown here, because I think, again,
don't tell
AJ
me what
Brown,
to do. Hey, don't tell me what to do. I can make my own decisions. I'm a grown man.
Make your own decision. I'm going to switch my answer. I'm going to say AJ Brown, because even though he does also have Dallas, at Kansas City, home against Buffalo, has some tough games coming up on the Eagles schedule as well. I think that he's been getting the ball fed a little bit more. 15 targets last week, 10 receptions for 137. Nacua is getting some of those receptions from Kupp, so we'll go AJ Brown.
I think I'm going to go ahead and switch to AJ Brown. It was my own decision. Puka Nacua.
Own decision on your own accord.
Puka Nacua getting a lot of receptions over Cooper Kupp. It's just a stat I just kind of figured out myself.
Heart says Cooper Kupp. Head says AJ Brown.
Yeah, that's something I thought of myself.
Actually, fuck the Rams. Take AJ Brown. Why are we rooting for Rams players? Root for Cooper Kupp's demise.
Can't even say his name. I agree. Yeah, you shouldn't take
Root
him.
for Cooper Kupp's demise, because fuck the Rams.
Yeah, because we're St. Louis people, so we should automatically just say fuck the Rams.
AJ Brown.
Yeah. All right, AJ Brown. After all that, AJ Brown.
The signs.
Lopez says Saquon for Eckler or Bijan. Wow.
Saquon for one or the other?
I'm guessing so.
Yeah, I would do Saquon for Bijan. That's a no-brainer.
You love Bijan, but he has the sniffles, Nick, and he can't play.
Again, when he's got the sniffles, he can't play. But again, long term, I don't think it's a durability issue, right? I think this is a little, a little head cold. But I just think Bijan overall, he's looking like a top 10 running back, right? I think top 5 some weeks, and they're going to feed him the ball. He's going to get volume. Saquon is a one play away from tearing his ACL at any point in time.
So is every player, but I understand. I understand. I get it.
Yeah, like Saquon, Eckler, I have injury concerns, even though right now they might be the better fantasy player. I think Bijan is going to be, again, just looking at Bijan's schedule, a lot of favorable games coming up. So bye week in week 11, but I like Bijan.
Nick, we got to wrap this up here, but I do have one more question. It's baseball related, but it's a Cardinal question. I figure we could both take this one. Do you think the Cardinals are going to get an ace this offseason? That's from Gage.
I do. I think the Cardinals are going to...
Who do you think, if you had to guess? Or do you? I don't really know the free agent list.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the free agent landscape looks like, but I think Aaron Nola is going to be available. I think he's going to be too expensive. McClanahan, I think, is another one. Of the free agents that are available, I'll try to do a quick Google search while we wrap it up and chat here. But I do think that they're going to get an ace, because they lost Michaelis, or they don't lose Michaelis. They have Michaelis. They have Hudson. They lose Wainwright, Montgomery. and Flaherty. I think Montgomery actually ultimately comes back, but
Ah.
Montgomery is not a 1 or 2, so I think they need an ace, and I think they need to go get a number 2. I think they need to go all out and spend on 2 big name pitchers because the rest of the field position players
Mhm.
we have too many. We're set, so maybe we can make a trade with one of those guys. Bullpen probably needs some work, but yeah, definitely go get the ace. I think we'll go get 2 of them.
Yeah, I think I heard Sonny Gray. Again, this is no reports. It's just Twitter people.
Yeah, like
saying
Sonny
shit,
Gray, I
but
would like as like a number 2.
Sonny Gray's not bad, but yeah, if you could throw the bag at Aaron Nola, I don't know if he wants to come to St. Louis. I mean, that's the other thing too is I feel like St. Louis people are very pissed when other people say that. But like honestly, if you have a decision to play in Los Angeles for the Dodgers or the Cardinals, I get it. But like
I'll just read off some names here. Obviously the big ticket item. We're not getting them. Don't think about it. Don't even consider it.
Shohei, we're getting why not Shohei, Nick?
Shohei Ohtani. Marcus Stroman, I would like. Charlie Morton's available. Clayton Kershaw's available. Martin Perez, I think, is the one I would like. Julio Urias, I would like. Lance Lynn return. Andrew Heaney. I mean, there's a lot of pitchers that are available this year. Blake Snell.
Blake Snell's going to get the bag as well.
I would love Blake Snell.
So
but even, like an Alex Cobb, a James Paxton, like Johnny Cueto I'd be fine with. Like, there's guys out here that
Johnny Cueto's still pitching. He's like 80. He's been in the league forever.
Yeah. I mean, like, dude, like I'm saying, like you get a guy that's like a number 2, and then go after one of these guys that's number 1. There's a lot of appealing guys that are on the free agent market for the Cardinals to go out. And so if they didn't do anything, they don't get 2 of these guys, I'm gonna be pissed.
I think they need to get at least 1. I would like for them to try for Nola. I don't think they're going to get him. Sonny Gray is gettable. I don't know if he is really your end-all, be-all. Blake Snell is also a guy you should go after. I agree. They should try to get 2 of those guys. I think they're only going to get 1. And they're going to bank on some of those young guys to come up and give them an opportunity. Nick, I don't know. There's a lot of shit that needs to happen with that team, and you don't want to waste Goldie and Arenado. And
you want Luke Weaver back?
No, I don't want Luke Weaver back. I don't want Luke Weaver or Jeff Weaver or Jared Weaver. No Weavers on this team. That's what I say. So, but I think, you know what I do want, Nick? One of these next 2 guys I mentioned to be gone next year. Tyler O'Neill or Dylan Carlson. I think it's going to be Tyler O'Neill.
You have to lose one of them because I think there's not enough room because you're going to have to play Tommy Edman in the outfield if you want Donovan, Gorman, and Wynn. I don't think Wynn's going to be up again at the beginning of the year, but like there's not enough room for all these guys to play. So yeah, I think one of Carlson or O'Neill will be gone. O'Neill to me is the guy that is the odd man out, can be a power hitter in the American League. I think it suits him a little bit more. That's where he came from. But yeah, big ticket wish list. Blake Snell. I want Blake Snell.
There you go. All right, there's baseball talk on From the 50, the football show. We usually don't do that, but someone asked us about the Cardinals, and we don't have a ton of chat going on tonight. It is a Tuesday night. Everybody's getting settled in from work, so we apologize for going on a little early. But, hey, life happens. If you missed any of the conversation, you can jump in from the50.com. You can watch it on YouTube. You can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts right now by going to fromthe50.com, and you can hit Apple Podcasts, and it jumps up right there. Listen to the episode coming up here. I'll have it up in, I don't know, an hour or so. And make sure you follow the sponsors, Sharps and Parlay Play. Support the sponsors. You guys are always asking how we can take this show to the next level. That's how you do it. Support the sponsors. Sharps, Parlay Play, online from the50.com. All the links. Help us out. Appreciate it. Nick, any last minute thoughts?
No, man. Just keep the train rolling, and hopefully we can keep the picks hot coming up this week. I know we only went 4-3, but we're trending in the right direction. TJ's red hot, so gonna be tough to catch him. But long season. We're only less than halfway through still, so we got a long way to go.
32-15-2. It's hard to top that. We just gotta continue it.
Yeah, you're fucking killing it.
Unconscious. Just give me the ball and get out of the way, Nick. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. Give me the ball. And I'm hot.
15-2 is unconscious. That's a healthy clip right there.
It's beautiful stuff. Thank you to our caller that had talked about naked wrestling with Kirk Cousins and Tom Brady. Shout out to you. And that'll do it for Nick Yale. I'm TJ Weber saying so long. We'll see you guys tomorrow, Wednesday, for Weber Wednesdays, and then Sunday live show, Week 8 of the NFL. Nick, are you back for that?
I will be back, I think. No, Yeah, I will, but I'll be doing it from a hotel room in Los Angeles because I'll
All
be
right.
in Los Angeles for Sunday Night Football, TJ.
Very nice, very nice.
But yes,
All right.
I will be on, but remote from LA.
Okay, so we'll have a full panel on Sunday. Again, audience, you are part of the panel now, so just a shout-out. Make sure you're prepared to be on that Sunday show and give us your best picks as we go along with ours on Sunday. For Nick Yale, I'm TJ Weber saying so long. See you tomorrow for Weber Wednesdays here on From the 50. Peace.
Peace.